Hello, how's it going, everybody? I'm a bit tired today, so we'll see how much actual development work I can do before my brain dies. Might be a shorter stream today, but we're going to be doing some development on the Twitch extension. We're going to try to do some backend stuff. I kind of broke it, and then I kind of fixed it. So I think all the front-end stuff is still working. But we're going to be doing some of the back-end development so that we can actually like send and receive the votes and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and swap on over. So we see our extension that we had going on. I might grab that window here. Let's see, that's right. Let's shrink it so that it's not taking up a huge amount of space here. Or I guess we could just have it here. Do it this way. There we go. That's what it looks like so far. And then I'm also going to do this. This should be a little bit better. If it shows up. Hello. There we go. All right, so where we left off, we were doing some of the work on the actual visuals, the front end part of the development. So we have our 4 games and their buttons and stuff that all relate to the game. So you can kind of click the, see if I can showcase that real quick. All right, we can click them and it highlights it red. Oh yeah, we needed to make sure that we remove the red when we click on a different one. But we had, hold on, let me see if we can figure out everything, get back into it. So the app stuff, so here's the CSS that we made that has all the different styles for all the different pieces of our app here. And then this is the actual JSON that runs the React components, is what we were using. And so when we clicked on these cells, we were setting their set state here to true. So now what we needed to do for this was to set all the states to false. Let's see. Yeah, here's what to do. Figure out how to get the list of the cells and change their states to false. So let's get through this, and then after that we will try to do some backend stuff. I installed everything I need for the backend, I think. We'll see. We'll see. I'll just leave it at that. I don't know how well that's gonna go. All right, so we need to do in React, find like all elements by not an ID. What do we call that? Tag name. Looks like we were attempting to do that and it did not do what we wanted it to. All right, we need to do looks like maybe a query selector could help. Hello, how are you doing? We're going to be continuing our development. So maybe query selector is what we were looking for. Query selector all. We can try that. I'm just gonna. All right. So document.query selector all. I think it's not a so the lowercase g. And that would get all of them. So if we go to our extension, yay, it broke. Cells I.setState is not a function. Cells. So I don't know if it's just not getting the list correctly. How do I actually select from this list? And that is how we select from the list. It's easier. Okay. All right, let's see. So I think when we grab the element this way, it does not recognize that it is a React element anymore. So you might need to grab it with a React thing. Instead. Let's see if we can find something for that in the documentation. Or somewhere. Maybe somebody online will tell us. A lot of things are saying I should do get elements by tag name. In JavaScript. I guess, oh, maybe before it was wrong because it was document, so get element with tag name. But we also did have it written wrong here. So let's see if this works first. I don't think it will. Doesn't look like it really does. We needed to get the element that holds these elements, I think. We do get element by tag name. We need to get like the list first. So we do like a document.get element. So this will be, I guess this is in the table. Document.get element by ID. And the ID of our table is current. So we get current. And then we use table.get. Seems like what it wants us to do. Hello. Trying to fix something on your computer right now? I'm trying to fix something. It's also on my computer. We're samesies. Your Visual Studio broken, you can't get it to work. Dang. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Good luck getting Visual Studio to go again. Let's see. Get elements by tag name. I guess. I mean, that is the tag. The tag name is with capital G, I guess. I don't know if this is going to work with React objects. Probably not. Let's find out. Nope. There's got to be a React equivalent, right? But I'm not finding it. Can we get a React equivalent somehow? We can get elements by D. Let's see if this get element. There's not really an ID for these guys. So we need to React get elements by class name or something. Can use React DOM find DOM node, or using ref. I don't know what that is. Ref is the recommended route. Let's see. So add a ref to a class component. Ref attribute is used on a custom component declared as a class. The ref callback receives a mounted instance of the component and as its argument. I wonder if I could show this one. Do y'all see that? Not really. Wow, that's tiny. See really. It's kind of cut off because of the way that I did this. There you go. You can read along with me. It still seems kind of small. Okay, so it looks like the ref attribute is used on a custom component. If we wrap the custom text input of simulated and clicked in, return a custom text input, ref input, this text input. The other thing they said was to use this if the component has been mounted into the DOM. Then we can find the node. It's because you can attach your ref to the DOM node and avoid using my DOM node at all. I'm not 100% understand what they're going on about here. Oh, we're using the query selector, not maybe. I did it like class name equals set. Interesting. Query selector all. See, this has to do it this way. I guess we didn't try it with. Let's go back to our app here. This doesn't seem to work. Let's try a couple of things here. We did reselector all like this. Doesn't seem. Let's refresh just in case. Okay. It doesn't seem to grab the list. Although, yeah. It's fine. Alright. So this doesn't seem to work. What was the other thing? It's doing the React DOM.find DOM node. Although, what is a component here? Is it just the name of the class? Let's count this up for a sec. Okay. React DOM. It dot find. Let's spell find DOM node. Okay, so if we did like that, is that what is this? I'm gonna close these tabs. React DOM is not defined. So that's not helpful to us. The React DOM is not defined as weird though, because isn't the React DOM supposed to be automatically added into our stuff here? Let's see if this other thing works. There's another possibility here. So your class extends this, and then it says this dot state. And then we have this dot, and then we have like some other reference name. So let's call it cell ref react dot create ref. So this would create a reference to it. And then down here, we can do the document dot get only by class name with our class's name. Let's do that. I need? It needs to be a string here, right? Yeah. So do I need to do this? Still? That did not do what it wanted it to. Let's refresh the page just in case. It didn't seem to work. What do we need to call it? Okay, so ref. I'm not sure what is happening here. React.create ref. I mean, they say to just do it like this. Oh, because it's by class name here. Something like that. Does that work? No. Does that work? No. I feel like it shouldn't be this hard to get a list of components. That is the whole point of React in the first place. What are we doing wrong? That. Doesn't seem to work. Maybe it needs to be this class name. Let's try everything. Maybe something will work. That is broken. Okay. This is not a function. So it's getting them when I do it this way. But it doesn't realize that it can call the function to set the state. Like it could here. So we look at this dot set state when we do the set as current, which happens on click. I guess we could just do the style background color, but I kind of want to use this date.selected. Maybe the problem is that the set state. No, I don't know. Problems. Can we just do it directly like this? Just do equals false. Probably won't want us to do that. Concept properties of undefined setting selected. It doesn't like it. You do like state equals selected false, maybe it'll be okay with that, like how we have it up here. It doesn't get mad at us, but it doesn't work. I should always be running the render, I think. I wonder if it's even getting it. So what if we did like style equals background color blue here? Is it even getting the right like list of objects here? I wonder. I need to set. Should we find this right? Maybe just let's be like this. All right. Does this work? No. So I don't know if it's even getting our list correctly. Let's try this again. So what can the cells... I don't know why it's not letting us data class and call the function that the class is. Set as current is the function. Set state's also a function that we have just because we extend the React component. React component. Let's get some documentation here. Maybe there's something we can get from this. Yeah, set state. Is the function we're looking for. Like this. So this should maybe be set state here even. I don't know if that matters, but okay, you can't do it that way. But I can't like edit the state during runtime, or because it seems to not like doing that. But it's fine with it here. It's just not realizing that these are also React components. Maybe it's just because it's an HTML. Let's see, what does this actually return? An HTML collection of elements. So HTML doesn't recognize that it has the state because it's an HTML list. We'll just use query selector, but it doesn't seem to do what we need it to. Query selector all. Returns a node list of element. It also has the same issue that it doesn't like the set state. Let's see. Guess okay. Let's look into the refs again. We were doing something wrong with that. Let's use the actual documentation. So if I want to create a ref, then I would do something like this. Is react.get ref, and then on render, we would need to do ref somewhere. Let's do ref, and then this dot. What did we call our ref? Game cell ref. I think this is the part we were missing. So now okay, how do we access it? Between components, here we go. This might have it. No, that's a parent child. Mm. A ref is passed to the element in render. A reference to node becomes accessible. The current attribute of the ref. So is it part of the DOM when I do this? Now it's warning me not to overuse refs in the documentation. There's another that says you could do find DOM node. Find DOM node. Can you do like a list of that though? It also doesn't seem to actually exist. So it's a class. Yeah. It extends the React component. When we render, we have the ref here. Hmm. I don't know if it's going to be something we can do. There's another person saying query selector. But then we get the element, but we can't call that function. Hmm. Like this seems to get all of them, but then it can't do this, unfortunately. Maybe there's a way to set state of another component. Um, this one's saying to put it into the parent class instead. Like we could put it in the application or the table here. Some people said use Redux to handle complex states. Well, we could maybe just do the background color manually. Okay, so let's rip the ref stuff out. That didn't help us. So if we did style, and then we did background color to blue. Source after blue is not defined. Oh, is it? We need to put it in parentheses or quotation. You know, the parentheses, the two tick marks that go above. All right. That did not seem to work either. So it gets a list of elements. Do we need to do this? We have it up below. No. The syntax error. Ooh, I don't know what I'm doing. a node list of elements. You get one element from it. You have your computer back now? That's good. That's good. Dad couldn't figure it out. Well, that's not good. You had a older sister yesterday. Wow, you did some crazy wackiness. It's just the Visual Studio that's broken. Like everything else is fine. Or is there more stuff broken than just Visual Studio? What is a list of? A list of element. Change the style or something. So if I did dot style dot color or background color. He was refusing to update routing new dependencies and stuff. That I think Dad figured out though. Well, hopefully it all works out in the end. UA projects still won't build. Reinstalling UA, hopefully that fixes it. Yeah, hopefully. I know that it gets kind of... I've had problems with Visual Studio Code when I was trying to do app development stuff for school. Something happened here with the colors. Hold on. Is it not background color? It's background color. How's the voting tool coming along? Not great. We've been stuck on trying to get the list of elements and changing them so that only one thing can be selected. But I'm thinking we might have to do this a different time or a different way than what I originally thought. I thought the React component would let us just call the set state on a different component, but it doesn't seem like they have a good way to find a component. So we're like finding the components, but they're all HTML components, not the React ones. So changing them doesn't seem to work. Oh, it's the button that we want to change the color of, not the cell. There we go. Hey, we figured, oh. We figured it out, but then not? What the heck? We almost figured it out. That's a step ahead. So maybe we just get rid of this on these parts, which means I guess we don't really need this at all. We don't need this if else. If else. So we just need to return this, and then we'll change the background color to red here. like that. Doesn't seem to like that. So here, we don't really need this set state stuff if this is what we're doing, but how about that? Oh no. Can I set properties of undefined background color? Undefined? Let's define up here for you though. It's because we need to do it like this. Up here. How about that? Interesting. I did not set the color immediately. It doesn't seem like that. Doing it this works on the style stuff, which is kind of weird. Is there a way to set the style in a React component? Style. Um, hmm. So do we just need to do a second like we had under there? That doesn't like that. Can I get the HTML version of this? I feel like I should be able to do this in some way. This dot state. It should be able to if we did this. The problem is we need to be able to set the state of the other cells, and we can't do that. So eventually you can't select it. You can't you can't reselect the same one. Why does React not have a way to do that? It's got to. That's the whole point of React, is to make it basically object oriented, right? I'm so confused. Maybe we can do it with something like this, where we have. Okay, so I'm seeing we can do something like my style equals, and then we put like the background color. And we do blue here. And then down here, we say style is equal to my style. My style's not defined. Maybe it's not defined. And it's in the return of the render. Oh, I see. They're setting that like here. Yeah, it still doesn't like that. They have to be a const. They have it as a const here. It does. So if I rip this out, oops. Wait, this isn't gonna help us anyway. Oh, I need to save that. Yeah, okay, that doesn't help. I was hoping that we could do something here, and then we just change the my style, but that's not gonna. We can change the style of the cells we find. How come we can't change the style of ourself? Can we get maybe get itself as HTML element? Can we do something like that? We can't mix the React stuff and the HTML stuff, I guess. Or you shouldn't anyway. We can do some like React DOM element stuff. You should be able to just do style this way. Yeah, because we can do node style background. And then the problem is we can't do it easily here. And we can't set the state of these because they're not React components. So how do we get a React component from the React DOM? Why is that so hard to do? I don't know. We should be able to do like a find DOM node. No, this is not working. I thought we were gonna do some good progress here. We're stuck on this one problem. And it's because I guess React doesn't. Okay, this node is find. This apparently the find DOM node. It is a thing. And we can do this node. Maybe we can do style here. Yeah, find DOM node is not defined. And yet the React documentation says this is a function you can just call from here. Do I have to do it from... Oh, because I need to import. I guess that's a different import we need. Find out node import is find out node was not found in React DOM. Yeah, it doesn't have the thing we're looking for. components. Okay, so we don't have React DOM, I guess. Stuff. I don't know. I just need to get all of the class from React. Find all of the elements. It baffles me that I can't just do that. Even HTML lets you do that, right? And other people are saying you can call React DOM find prefetch DNS init preload. It looks like that's not it either. I don't even know what React DOM is. React DOM. DOM as in DOM, like this. The DOM is basically our containment tree of all of our stuff. All of our elements. What does DOM stand for? The document object model. It's like this. We have that image. This is our DOM. It has all of our pieces in it, like this, in a tree. What does DOM stand for? Yeah, exactly. This is our HTML DOMmy. So basically the document up here, this is the top level. Then we have our root element, which is our HTML tag here. And then all of those elements that we have, those pieces that we have, are just under this, in this tree. And this whole thing is called the DOM. So it's calling the React DOM. React has its own version of that tree. But for some reason, we're unable to grab the elements across the tree. Like in HTML, this element over here, it could grab this element over here. But the problem I'm having is in React, it's not letting us do that. And we can grab the HTML one and change its color, but we can't, if we do that, change our own one because our self is a React thing, not an HTML thing. it's kind of annoying that React is that way. I'm gonna change style on a function call. This might help us. The people saying to just use state, which is what we were doing before. Let's change state of ceiling element, ceiling component. This one says to do callbacks with the parent, so the parent handles it all. So we could have the game table do it, I guess. But then how do we do the button version where we're clicking stuff? That's what I don't understand. I guess we could do the on click call here. It needs to get its React kit together. Yeah, it's React. I just realized I was supposed to, you know what? I'm gonna be sitting here listening to silence. Let's turn on some music. Let's shuffle. There we go. Now there's some music when I'm sitting here reading. Not into the sound of silence today, no. Not the sound of silence. So let's try doing it this way, I guess. Value, so let's do style equals, and then we'll do like a this dot state dot, we'll call it cell one state, and then up here in our constructor first we need to do a super call. All right, so this dot state equals, we're going to set all of these values right now. So we have, we're going to call it cell1 state. And then we'll say clicked or something. Yeah, we could just do like 0 for off and 1 for on. And we need this for all of these. Oops. It's not letting me do Control Shift. Do Control Alt, I guess. All right. So we have cell 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is 2. This one's 3. This one's 4. Then we have to make a bunch of listeners. Handle cell 1 click. This is how we're being told to set up the handler. And then here we do an on click. We would do this dot handle on cell 1 click. Handle cell 1 click. Which would call a function that we need to set up here called handle cell 1 click. Where we would do this dot set state and the state we would just change is like cell cell 1 state to be 1, and then the others I don't need to do that. 3, 4. All of these would be 0. Like this. Okay. Okay, and then the style. So I guess actually, if we're putting the style directly in here, then we would have to set the style to be like this. Because that's what we're actually inputting into that value. And then here, we would set this to red, and the other one's to blue. And then we would need to do, let's just do this. Then we would do cell 2 click, cell 3 click, 4 click. I guess we could just do it this way. And then this for all 4 of those, and this for all 4 of them. So we have cell 2 click, cell 3, oops, and cell 4. Cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. So we're gonna do the same thing. We'll change these around. So 1. Oh, I guess that is. I think it would be better just to do it this way. So 4. So 1. And then we would basically have none of this stuff. But for now, let's just comment this out until it works how we want it to. I'll delete it if it works. Okay, so can I read the properties of undefined reading bind? We can't bind it because the function doesn't exist or something. I should see this. Is this not it? I have no idea. Why this doesn't work. Maybe we just don't need to do the binding of the functions and instead call the function. Maybe we don't need these bindings. That doesn't seem to work. This one is saying we can do oh, you know what? Do we need to put input value? I feel like this should work. we need to do like this. It's not even setting the color. Hold on. The style should be set to background blue. Is it because the button? Is it a background blue, but you can't tell? Let's see. Where's inspect? So if we select this element here, not the button, but the cell, does not seem to have a background color. It might be because this overrides it. Let's rip that out for a second. No. So this is the game cell down here. Oh, is that actually why this wasn't working? Because we were finding these buttons aren't the same as this. Are these cells? I named them poorly, I think. That's what I'm learning. Let's look at this table. Each of these rows has the game button and the game cell. But this isn't like encapsulated by a top level class thing. But it should set this game cell. Shouldn't that exist here? That's what I don't understand. Each of these should have a game cell, but I guess that is just this. So I guess this game cell doesn't have a style. So if we created so we did selected in the state here, and then we said this was the state. We do like that. Actually, before I change all this, we should see that Okay. Sure. All right. Putting the on click above, we don't need this. Which I guess means we don't need this. Selected is set as false by default. So if selected is true, then this color, or style, background color, is red. But we do need this in double brackets. Because React, yeah, React be that way, I guess. And then this would be blue if it was not selected. So we set it to selected as false. Then let's just do, let's select all of these. Bam, selected. And then this one will be true. Let's just do all of them at once and then get the true we need. There, there, and there. Does that work? Not really. So I don't think this is working as intended. No, looks like it shows it. If it's true, it's red, otherwise it's blue. I mean, we don't really need it here either. Does that not work? Okay, so the thing's selected as false. I guess that's, this instantiates it or whatever. So the cell one state should be like this. And then the state here is that. So maybe that doesn't quite work the way I want it to. I could do it by ID, I guess. Change all of these so that they have an ID. Instead. And then just say set state of the one that we get with the ID. Maybe that would work. Oh, timer. Okay. I will be right back. Enjoy music. Oh, my button doesn't work for the be right back sign. Oh well. Alright. So, why is this not working, I wonder? Because this should be able to put that state directly into here. And maybe the state just doesn't work here? I don't know. But it should. Thank you for the welcome back. I need to figure out which part is failing. I don't know how to do that. Let's see here. Our state is this. We handle the clicks. Maybe the ID way is going to be better. But what do we do with the ID? Because if we can't get the node by ID, then what difference would it make? Maybe the props is what we need to set. It's text. Is that something we set that we made up? I just want to be able to call the function. We're returning the button like this, with the right style here. We just need to be able to set this selected. I thought this was going to do for us when we did the selected here. Because that should throw it into the state of the game cell. Maybe I am too tired to do this. Maybe I cannot. I feel like it should be able to just do the selected true like this. It would basically just replace this. maybe this needs to be different than state. Maybe. How do we deal with the text? Oh, that's the, I see. Okay, the alt text. Because this cell, I guess, works like a div or something. So maybe state doesn't exist. For these, I mean, when you hover it, it says property state like this. So it feels to me like it would. How else could we do this? How else can we do this? I'm not sure. So maybe this isn't good enough for what we need to do. Maybe we need to do something on the click of this button here that passes the value up somehow. Maybe it's gonna be part of the props, like this. We hand in the game image via the props here. Be like this dot props, this dot props.
This is the new hit of the week record. Our music curate, composed of Florence Sixbell, Eddie Cantor, and Vincent Lopez, select the outstanding dance hit of the hour for a hit of the week recording.
Do we not need these in this spot? Surely we do. This sorts of alt text. Okay, so this dot props dot text. So it would be like this dot props dot state. Instead of this. And then in here, we would just do this.
This is the new hit of the week record. Our music curate, composed of Florence Sigfeld, Eddie Cantor, and Vincent Lopez, select the outstanding
Let's do it
of the hour for a hit
in a better way here. There's 4. Let's replace that with 2. Replace those 4. There should be 12 of these. Does that work? Passing it in the prop like that? Like maybe we don't call it state. Call it, instead of state, we would call it something like is current or something. I just don't want to necessarily do state in case that has issues. Does that work? Ooh, almost. It has the blue. So it's just always defaulting to this, I guess. So this dot props. Oh, you know what? It's because we didn't do. No, that's right. So I should basically paste this into here. Is it because props can't be changed during runtime, maybe? I wonder. React change props on runtime. You can't change the props of its children. Change props on runtime. Appear the child to have the attribute key equal to the name. The component will re-render every time the key changes. Um, child. Most of our. We'd have to do like a. Hmm. I could do kind of like adopt children. Render props. Yeah. We can pass the props down. It looks like we should be able to change it. Maybe I'm not changing it correctly.
But this is the point where most people long for a roadmap. You discover unlimited variety, the finest in sound and performance. This takes precisely 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They have to be perfect.
I'm not sure. How props change over time. Oh, here we go. Maybe this has it. Export default function. Yeah, so we wanted to change the color. Export default function. Clock color time returned. The parent component code is omitted because it uses state, which we don't have to change yet. Yeah, so we have the state set here. We change the states. I guess what do I do it this way? I should do it. Maybe this is the issue. It should be like this, really. Right. And then we just get the true and false swap there. Is that our issue? Nope. Maybe it's the on click that's not working. See if we like set one of these to true. It should make it red. Yeah. I feel like we're a little closer to getting this to work. I think it might be this on click that's not working for us. What if we did do a callback? How do we call back on React? So we want this to be like a clicked thing, right? Let's call it handle click. And then when this is clicked, where it's kept us in here. Wait, oh, that's why. There we go. On click, we handle look. Then we have a function up here called handle click. That would call the properties version of handle click. Maybe? I don't think this is gonna work. It worked! Oh my gosh, we got it to work! I just needed the callback function. I didn't realize. I didn't think about it. Okay. So quick recap. Actually, let's get rid of this. Let's clean up a little bit. We did it! We did what we set out to do. Kind of. Not really. We didn't do any of the back-end development stuff, but that's okay. We got something else interesting done. All right. Quick recap. Instead of having it handle the state of the cell's current click state, we set the state up here in the game table that holds the 4 game cells. So those 4 game cells each have their own click function. we set out to achieve something and achieve something unrelated. Exactly. So this function we have set for each of these cells, and we have a property here called handle click, and we have a property here called isCurrent. So when we handle cell 1 click, then we're setting the state of 1 to be true and the others to be false. So that state here is updated in the isCurrent. So it is now that this first cell is the current cell, and we call the handle cell 1 click by calling the onClick on the button. That onClick is calling a function called handle click in here. And this handle click is calling the props handle click, which is this property here. So it calls this function. That's usually referred to as a callback. When we call something back to the parent's function like this. So now the parent of the cell is calling the function based on what this one told us to do. So now we've done it. The thing that we stopped last time on. So I guess next time we'll be doing the back-end stuff instead of this time. Oh well, we got something else that works out. So now we kind of needed this to get set up so that we could do the back-end stuff. Because when we do the back-end stuff, we're going to click this button, and it's going to have to send information saying this is the current one, which we will now grab from this game table probably. And then this information will be sent to that backend REST call, which I can explain next time what that all means, but basically sending it to the database, and the database would be able to give us back, in the SpongeBob announcer voice, tomorrow for sure. Exactly. That's basically programming in a nutshell, though. You're like, all right, got to do this thing, and you end up doing like something entirely different that's still useful, and then you're like, that took way longer than I thought it would. It's like an open world game. Like how when you're playing Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, or Tears of the Kingdom, you're like, all right, I'm gonna go, I see this thing off in the distance. There's a shrine over there. I'm gonna go to that shrine. And then you get sidetracked by like the sign guy, and you're like building the sign structure, and then you're like, what was I doing? It's exactly what it's like to program. At least how I am when I program. All right, well, I'm glad we were able to solve this issue. Time for the main story. Oh, what's that school over there? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I was really hoping we were going to get this problem solved at least before stream ended, which we did, so that's nice. But we'll probably end here. We don't have enough time to start doing anything else really, but we have this solved. This problem has been resolved, and we now can select one. Oh, I accidentally input something that I wasn't supposed to. Control Z. There we go. We can now select one of the things and all the others deselect. And that is something. Yeah, at least. All right. We're gonna go ahead and stop that. All right. Do our outro song instead. Thanks everybody for watching. You know, dev work isn't always the most exciting thing to watch, but I do like solving the problem and having a satisfactory ending at least. So let's see who we can raid. Uh-oh. My browser froze for a sec there. Okay. Yeah, good night everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back for another Chat's Choice on Sunday and Deltarune next Wednesday. So be there, put in your vote for Sunday. Got a new game to play. And we will go ahead and raid. Who we got? We can raid Mothman. So let's go ahead and raid Mothman stream. Looks like playing Blue Archive. Not heard of it, but I'll see y'all over there. Thanks for watching and have a good night.